Welcome to my presentation on the topic of connecting first responders in space, how NASA disaster program supports disaster risk reduction. So my name is Tian Yao from NASA disaster program. I'm really appreciate having this chance to share our work in global platform. So in 2017, the NASA disaster program created a new area of disaster-related work for disaster risk reduction and resilience. We seem to expand the application of Earth observation to elements across the disaster cycles. So NASA disaster program engaged many partnership and stakeholders, including the International Charter, Disaster Charter, NOAA, USGS, World Bank, IFRC, UNDP, and many others. So what we are trying to do is we are working on sharing information with stakeholders and users. So NASA satellite is a very critical tool for disaster researchers to monitor hazard in this Earth. So I want to emphasize here that many NASA products have been produced in near real time. So near real time means the products would be available within 3 hours from the satellite observations. So connected with the airborne assets and national, international partners, the NASA disaster program are working to support Sendai framework by leveraging the Earth's observations to ready the new methods to detecting, evaluating, and predicting disasters, and also their social, economic, and culture corresponding. So in our team, we targeted a broad spectrum, including but not limited to a few disasters, such as flooding, earthquake, hurricane, volcano, and many others. So we are running a very unique framework. We have experts from different areas of knowledge, and we are able to provide the near real-time products and the model results in response to support the disaster events. So that's how our team works. So every time there is a disaster happen, we're gonna do the rapid assessment. And if the team decided the event gonna be active, so the centers in each NASA center have a coordinator, and they gonna to work with partners and stakeholders to see which kind of product and information NASA can provide to support this disaster. And also the coordinator gonna to got contact with end users directly to asking which kind of product or information you need. So I want to emphasize that NASA data are open and free. However, due to the data limitation, for some users, it's not easy to find or use them. For instance, some satellite images only available in NASA FTP website in HDF format or NetCDF format, but maybe the users only familiar with shapefile or JF file or only JPEG file. So our team right now is developing a NASA mapping portal. Our goal is to fill the gaps between science and applications. In this mapping portal, we host the data generated by NASA scientists, and we hand it to the end users, such like emergency manager, first responder, and also to the public before, during, and after a disaster. So our NASA disaster team is very active for disaster events. So in the following slides, I'm going to show you 2 examples of NASA disaster responses. The first one is Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico 2017. And then the second one is Tropical Cyclone Idai in Mozambique, which happened only a few weeks ago. In September 2017, the Category 5 Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico suddenly, and which caused the longest blackout in electricity in U.S. history. It seems to be just a single hurricane hit Puerto Rico, but it actually brought combined multiple hazards, including the heavy rainfall, the heavy winds which impact large areas, so impacted the area pretty severe. So during this disaster, there were coordination calls between NASA disaster team and other federal and state agencies such as FEMA, NOAA, USGS, and many others. So NASA disaster team is coordinating with the agencies to determine which kind of satellite products and information can be useful to support the response and also for the recovery efforts. So this slide just to give you some general ideas. So NASA scientists, from different area of knowledge, they produce data from satellite and also models, focusing on the weather forecasting, the flooding map, the providing the damage proxy map, and also the power outage status in Puerto Rico. So NASA disaster program provides support during the disaster, but we never stop supporting disaster even after the emergency just passed away. So it's been almost 2 years after Hurricane Maria, but NASA scientists still continue to generate the black marble nighttime light product, which is helpful to develop the neighborhood map of the energy use. We're doing that because the recovery, the energy restoration in Puerto Rico very slowly. Also, the scientists did the data analysis about the restoration and the remoteness from the major city in Puerto Rico. So the results show there is a huge difference between the urban area and the rural area. So this information are useful for policy makers. So the second example gonna be the Tropical Cyclone Idai in Mozambique, which happened only a few weeks ago. So based on the information provided by IFRC, this hurricane, after this hurricane, over 90% of the city barrel which is a coastal area, coastal city, have a population more than 500,000. So because the hurricane caused the flooding, which isolated many cities and villages over that area. So for the responders, they don't have an effective way to get reach of the impacted area and to provide the help. So NASA disaster program is working with IFRC and UN and some other agencies to provide the help. During this disaster, NASA disaster program not only provided data focusing on weather forecasting or disaster impact, but this time we also provided information about infrastructure, about the population distribution. So we want to focusing the human part, not only data, but how the disaster going to impact the human in there. So here's some feedbacks from different stakeholders. I don't want to repeat them, but I'm just want to say we are very happy that NASA data gonna be has been used for Mozambique government to do the do the initial assessment and for their decision making. And so each time after the disaster response, our team would reach out to the users again. So we want to know if they have any remaining questions. Satellite data might come help. And also we want to know if we can do better. We always want to improve, and we appreciate the feedback from users. So here is a summary. I think I almost ran out of time, but just very quick. So NASA providing a unique way for disaster response and recovery to support the Sendai framework. So NASA disaster program developed a new way to monitor, estimate, assessing, and predict a disaster. And also, we are trying to create and leverage the observation data and to effective reduce the disaster risk. So the future activity, we will continue to collaborate with NASA partners and users. We want to promote open and timely data. We also want to build sustainable resilience and to support the users, many kinds of users, the emergency managers, brokers, and responders, and the public. So we are encouraging you to reach our disaster website and also the mapping data portal. And if you have any questions, please get contact with our team leader, Dr. David Green, and also me. Right, so that's it. Thank you so much.